No one showed up. The cake remained untouched. The candles melted into pools of wax. My son's eyes dulled, like stars fading before sunrise. He forced a smile, saying, "Maybe Grandpa's lost. Maybe Aunt Lisa's car broke down again." I nodded, echoing his lie. At 6:47 p.m., I messaged my father, "Are you still coming?" He left me on read. By 8 p.m., I tossed the cake, vanilla, his favorite. I heard soft sobs from his room, muffled but piercing. He thought I couldn't hear. The sound wedged itself beneath my ribs. 3 days later, my phone vibrated. Dad's name. He needed $2,200 for my brother's graduation gift. You know how it goes. Be a team player. My thumb lingered over the screen. Then I smiled, a quiet, private smile. I sent $1. Best wishes. Then I changed the locks. 2 days later, police stood on my porch, hands on belts, polite but firm. "Sir, we got a call. Your father claims you locked him out of his property." His property. The phrase almost made me laugh. This house was mine, fully paid, but that was his game. Control didn't need truth, just volume. I kept my voice steady. "His mistaken." They glanced at their notes, uncertain. My father stood behind them, feigning calm, his face wearing that familiar mask of disappointment. "Son, let's talk like adults," he said. "Don't make a scene." That's what he always did, cloaked cruelty in reason, humiliation in family duty. I could have argued, but I didn't. I let them leave, said I'd handle it privately. They nodded and walked away. He lingered, acting triumphant. "You embarrassed me," he hissed, "all because of one missed party. Grow up." I stared at him. "It wasn't my party." His jaw tightened. He turned and left, muttering about ungrateful kin. That night, I didn't feel rage. I felt clarity. My father saw family as a hierarchy, not love. He ruled ours like a fiefdom, wielding debt, guilt, and selective generosity. I was the responsible one, meaning the one who cleaned up messes, paid bills, and took the blame. My brother, the favored son, charming, reckless, always forgiven. When Mom fell ill, I covered her hospital costs. Dad said, "You're better with money." When she passed, he wept for show, then asked for a loan the next day. I learned early his kindness came with receipts. When my son was born, Dad barely visited. He said fatherhood wasn't hard. Maybe not for men who never cared to feel. The family group chat stayed quiet on birthdays but buzzed with requests. I was their convenience until I stopped being useful. The birthday was the final straw. I'd sent invites, called, texted. No replies. They'd picked their side, as always. This time, I didn't plead. I noted the silence, catalogued the absence. Pain ceased to be pain when I began documenting it. A week after the police visit, I confirmed something. A message from my brother's fiancée, sent to the wrong chat, read, "Thank your dad for covering the hall deposit. Harry said he'd pitch in too. Maybe he'll finally do something useful." It cut like a silent blade. They dipped into my savings before, when I helped Mom, when I lost my job, when they needed a quick transfer. This time, I traced it. I pulled every record, Venmo, PayPal, bank transactions, all tied to the same email Dad accessed when I set up his online banking. $18,430 over 5 years. My money, his fingerprints. It wasn't just neglect, it was theft masked as fatherhood. So, I started collecting evidence, screenshots, receipts, voicemails, every favor he'd coerced, every lie he'd spun about me. Somewhere between the third and fourth folder, I stopped feeling shattered. I felt precise. I studied him like a case study, his credit patterns, his boasts to friends about family generosity, the lies he wove with half-truths. I discovered the deed to his rental property, the one he bragged about, was still in Mom's name, never transferred, a legal ghost. According to her will, which I quietly retrieved from the courthouse, I was the executor. Nothing he claimed was truly his. It took weeks of discreet calls, notarized letters, and patient waiting. I made no threats, no posts, no fuss, just paperwork. Truth veiled as bureaucracy. Meanwhile, He texted every few days, blending guilt with authority. Family doesn't shut out family. Be mature. You'll regret this coldness. I didn't respond. Instead, I rekeyed the locks again, installed cameras, updated every password, and revised my son's school pickup permissions. Then I waited for the perfect moment, one that would seem accidental, inevitable, poetic. The invitation arrived by mail. You're cordially invited to celebrate Ethan's graduation. Gold letters, my father's handwriting. I RSVP'd online, attending, but I didn't go. Instead, I scheduled an automated email to his lawyer that morning, attaching Mom's will, the deed records, and a certified letter revoking his claim to the rental property, effective immediately. By the time he rose to toast family unity, the lawyer's call cut him off. Witnesses said he paled, sat down mid-sentence. Then the bank called. His accounts were frozen, pending review of unauthorized transfers, the ones he'd made from mine. By evening, the hall manager informed him the card payment had failed. The event shut down halfway through dinner. He called me at 11:43 p.m., voice shaking, pride gone. What did you do? I spoke calmly. I sent what was yours. Best wishes. Silence, then a low exhale. You'll regret this. I smiled. You already do. Then I hung up. Weeks passed. No calls, no police, just silence. My brother tried once, left a voicemail, you ruined everything. But I hadn't. I'd only dismantled the scaffolding they'd built their lives on, my compliance. Sometimes justice isn't a courtroom, it's truth set free. The rental property sold last month. The proceeds went to my son's trust, not as vengeance, but as correction, balance restored. For his next birthday, it was just us two. No guests, no waiting. We lit 2 candles, one for him, one for what we'd endured. He asked, "Will Grandpa come next year?" I said, "No, but maybe that's the gift." He smiled, a genuine one. As he blew out the candles, the air shifted, like a storm passing quietly, leaving only clear ground behind. The past no longer haunts me. It knocks sometimes, but I never answer.